we have the 3 winners of the 22 posters, and those 3 individuals will come here and will teach their summary of the posters in 2 minutes, and we will select the final winner, first, second, and third position for the poster. So don't leave. Of course, you want to hear the commercial opportunities, but you want to hear the posters also. So we see.
So it's too late to say welcome, but welcome anyway. As Karina mentioned, this is the 4th and final session of the 2019 Genomics Forum, and this session is on commercial opportunities. So you've all heard about several companies cropping up in BC and across Canada since recreational cannabis was legalized in October 2018. There's been a lot of studies published on quality and safety, price, accessibility, preferred THC, CBD potencies, formulations, and a lot of other information. Who better to hear from other than 4 entrepreneurs who have entered this space? Some of them have been here for a while. So we're hoping that they will take a few minutes of their talk to discuss their experience and vision on top of the we have 4 entrepreneurs. One is Tyler Wish, who is the CEO of NACBio, Katja Budko, who is the Director of Plant Research and Breeding at Canopy Group. We have Jonathan Page, who is the Chief Science Officer of Aurora Cannabis, and Jacob Sack, Vice President and Chief Operations Officer of BC Green Pharmaceuticals. So we want to introduce them one by one. We'll just have Tyler start off and then have each of them do that.
Kick off the commercial section here, and it's my pleasure to do so. So we'll spend just 5 minutes and walk you through what we think are some of the large commercialization opportunities ahead of us as a company and as a country. I'll start off by saying that in our worldview, information asymmetry forms a constant performance basis of a competitive advantage across most industries. Whether it's consumer retail, insurance, or financial markets, virtually every company across every industry is leveraging this concept in some form or another to maximize outcomes. This is also very true for modern drug discovery, healthcare, and medicine. And over the last decade, we've witnessed an extraordinary shift towards the use of these powerful digital technologies for research, innovation, and commercial purposes. Companies like 23andMe, Beacon, Flatiron, and Sequence Bio, a company I co-founded in Newfoundland, are good examples of these. Undoubtedly, these powerful digital technologies are going to disrupt the cannabis industry. And consequently, the future cannabis winners will be those companies who have a deeper and data-driven understanding of how cannabis works in the real world. To that end, myself and the folks at National Cannabis have co-founded NACBio. And our belief is that data intelligence is an emerging and important next frontier for the cannabis industry. And our vision is to secure the data-driven research, innovation, commercialization opportunities by being the global ground truth for how cannabis works in the real world. Now, as we've discussed at length today, we currently have a very limited understanding of how cannabis consumers and cannabis products work in the real world. And as you know, this is already problematic for many stakeholders for many reasons. What the industry lacks and currently needs is a large-scale knowledge base that integrates high-quality, longitudinal information across users, products, and outcomes. And at the moment, without this information, it's extremely difficult to maximize outcomes. Without a deep understanding of consumers and products in the real world, it's difficult to match products with the right consumers. Without the right feedback mechanisms in place, it's difficult to enable support innovation, particularly product development. And without the right evidence and analysis, it's difficult to capture the right information with respect to safety, efficacy, and cost effectiveness. And consequently, difficult to have the right conversations with decision makers about patient care, market access, and global expansion. The flip side to this problem is, of course, very, very interesting to us. And I think that it's actually a wonderful innovation and global leadership opportunity for Canada. First, Canada is a global first mover, which is a rare accomplishment for sure, but it's also a significant competitive advantage that will not last for much longer on its current trajectory, and it should not be squandered. Second, cannabis is a beautiful big data problem when you think about all the variation that we're observing across users, products, and outcomes. What's terribly exciting, of course, is that it's well suited to today's technological capabilities, and it has not yet been done at the right scale. The third and last point that I'll make is that Canada is also a beautiful operating environment for a global intelligence firm focused on cannabis. Canada's supportive regulatory legal environment, coupled with its strengths in genetics, agriculture, gels, and data science, is a beautiful collision of human capital, infrastructure, technology, and global opportunity. The only question that remains for me is whether or not Canada leads these digital opportunities. To that end, what we've done is to assemble the foundations of an integrated data intelligence platform designed to empower the Canadian cannabis industry to obtain a much deeper and data-driven understanding of how cannabis works in the real world. The fundamental design concept is the creation of a symbiotic relationship between a consortium of Canadian cannabis companies, an intelligent machine powered by sophisticated computational capabilities, and a broader group of important stakeholders who all individually and collectively contribute to and benefit from their participation in the platform. It is designed to not only provide intelligence capabilities to the Canadian cannabis industry, but it is also to function as a global hub for research and innovation that impacts a much broader group of stakeholders, including users, providers, payers, innovators, and researchers. The CLUE platform is the distillation of this idea to create a collision amongst what Canada's capabilities and know-how has achieved thus far. Through collaboration, our solution is aimed at maximizing the scale and sophistication of the knowledge base, as this is where we believe the future opportunities lie. Similar to other large-scale data initiatives like Flatiron, Genome, FinGen, etc., that are well known within the healthcare and medical and life sciences space, we too are aiming to leverage the combined collective capabilities amongst cultivators and retailers, researchers and innovators across Canada to maximize the global digital opportunities. So very briefly, in terms of what we're building, the overall solution is an integrated global intelligence platform for cannabis, and there's three broad components. The first is the knowledge base, a large-scale integrated data set, biobank containing well-characterized phenotype, genotype, and health information. This is coupled to an intelligence platform which leverages modern, sophisticated computational approaches that enable that consortium and broader stakeholder group to extract valuable, actionable insights about how these consumers and products work in the real world. And finally, this is purposely designed and built with a global perspective, an opportunity to enable the success of our industry in foreign jurisdictions. This is the last slide, and it simply captures how our vision, our solution, and our product fit into the marketplace. The figure plots scale versus sophistication, which, although a relatively simple evaluation, I think is a rather representative estimation of the innovation, utility, and value of these types of information assets. And in our opinion anyways, the existing solutions within the cannabis space sit in the lower left-hand quadrant and therefore have little research and innovation potential. NACBio has gone through the difficult and sort of challenging efforts of positioning our initiative alongside some of the world's largest and most sophisticated human data initiatives. Again, this is where we believe the future opportunities lie. Thanks very much, and I look forward to your questions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. So, we heard some panelists this morning that one of the many challenges in making cannabis a realized medicine to Canadian consumers is the ability to supply the demand. So today I'd like to take some time to talk to you about commoditizing cannabis and specifically what that means and what needs to change for us to get there. So I'd like to begin by kind of diving into the three different tiers of cultivation that we have available at our disposal here under the cannabis regulations or Cannabis Act in Canada. So basically the three are very highly controlled indoor cultivation, fully supplemental lighting, HVAC, positive pressure, the whole thing. Then we have greenhouse cultivation, so depending on where you are in Canada, you can also have HVAC requirements, supplemental lighting requirements, but you can harness the power of the sun. And then something that's new came about on October 17th this past year is a fully outdoor cultivation. So when we're looking at the cost of production there, just generally speaking, you would expect much higher cost of production on the indoor front, lesser so on greenhouse, and even more so on outdoor cultivation. But when you're looking at environmental controls, you're really seeing the opposite effect. Very high level of control for indoor cultivation and absolutely no level of control when you're cultivating outdoors. And the same goes for the precedent of licensing and security requirements. You know how a lot of licensed producers within Canada, it's almost become a cookie cutter system for indoor and greenhouse cultivation. Everyone knows what the security requirements and the building requirements are to get those licenses. For outdoor, it's a little bit more of an unknown. There's I think, a couple, or one, essentially licensed outdoor location now, and soon we'll see more, but right now it's kind of up in the air. So, this begs the question, what needs to change with these lack of environmental controls and this lack of precedent for the outdoor commercial kind of large-scale production to actually be viable? So the what and the how, when we're talking about commoditizing cannabis, what we're really saying is commoditizing or using the ingredient. The exception to this, that I have in the bottom there, is dried flower, right? This is seen as a very high quality, kind of almost status symbol, way of consuming cannabis. So I don't imagine that'll go away completely anytime soon. There's always going to be a requirement for high quality, kind of full spectrum dried flower. What we're talking about here is the ingredients for derivative product production. I have an example there of sugar and Coke, right? So you have sugar as kind of your ingredient, and then you have your Coca-Cola, which is your differentiated marketed product. So to have access to these ingredients, to be able to derive these very high value innovative products, we need to be able to produce very inexpensively on a very large scale. And then we need this whole background of innovation within our organizations to be able to drive these ingredients to be something of value in the Canadian marketplace. So where do we go from here, and how does cannabis become a crop here in Canada and around the world? And here I have a couple of things that need to change, and this is really just scratching the surface, but first and foremost, we heard this earlier, uniformity from seed. Right now, mostly everything is clonally propagated. If you germinate 10 seeds, you're bound to see 10 different morphologies, physiological differences, chemotype differences. We want to go where the tomato crop is, essentially hybrid seed production, uniformity, in every single seed that you sow out in the field. Mechanization, and hemp is going there already. Mechanical harvesting, mechanical planting. Disease resistance too. Just given the kind of black market breeding practices that have played a big role in generating the cultivars that we have to date, there's a large prevalence in, for example, obligate fungal pathogens or cannabis plants that are susceptible to it. But as we saw in the previous talks as well, there's a very wide diversity of traits within different cannabis cultivars and genotypes. I like to talk in terms of genotypes. So this is great in terms of future breeding efforts because we can actually harness that diversity. Production of single cannabinoid, and you can send that to just single phytochemical plants. When you're going through the process of mass cultivating, you want to be able to extract as much of a single active ingredient as possible without having to actually go through the problem of separation down the line, because that could actually increase your bottom line significantly. And then measures for pollen control, not just not wanting to pollinate your own crop, because that will reduce your yield in terms of chemical content as well as biomass, but consideration for your neighbors, right? And then geographical adaptation. So what grows very well in southern Ontario may not be what grows well in northern Saskatchewan. And even more so when we're talking about places like Colombia and places like Australia and areas of Europe. So really the breeding of these crops needs to happen in those specific locations for us to get the benefit of using them as ingredients for future products rather. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Genomics for the invitation to speak. This is a really interesting subject. It's been something that Genomics have been, I think, supporting cannabis research for a few years now, but it's nice that they committed a full day to the subject. I got my corporate Aurora slides, but just to say, I'm taking off that sort of corporate Aurora hat here, talking more as an active observer in the cannabis innovation system in Canada, someone who's been a scientist. I worked at the National Research Council for 10 years. In fact, we have colleagues from NRC here. And then switched and became an entrepreneur and grew in Andia Labs as a leading cannabis science company and cannabis testing company, and now work for Aurora as chief science officer. So I've seen sort of cannabis from a bunch of different angles. And I wanted to sort of talk about how cannabis innovation is working in Canada and within the context of entrepreneurship and what's needed to support entrepreneurs. And so, Tyler mentioned, this is sort of Canada's moment to lead. We're a first mover. We're the first G20 country to legalize adult use cannabis. We've had legal hemp as a crop since 1998. I mean, the Americans just discovered it like last year in the farm. Driven by court battles, we've had medical cannabis access by patients for about 15 years or so. So we have a lot of background as a country. It's a growing sector. I mean, you open the business in the Globe and Mail, and it's all Canopy or Aurora or another company and another IPO. There's a lot of capital, poured in. It's already there. I put that, though we don't print money, there's this idea that cannabis companies are generating huge amounts of profits. That's not the case. We're taking lots of investor dollars in. There's a strong interest from universities and students. I mean, graduate students, you'd be surprised. They seem to be interested in cannabis. And other grads, for that matter. So, my colleagues in universities are starting projects and are really interested in this burgeoning sector, partly because it's a valuable crop, partly because it's just a really fascinating plant. And I started working on cannabis back before this boom happened, and I think what drove me to be interested is still the same stuff that's happening now. It's just a really fascinating thing. But there are lots of roadblocks, and I think this is where we're sort of failing. There's a lack of dedicated funding. So Bill Blair just announced $25 million worth of funding, but it's really a drop in the bucket. There's not a lot of sort of dedicated funding, and cannabis was really left out in the cold due to prohibition, so it wasn't really present in labs and universities for a long time. And so there's lots of catching up to do, and that 25 million is dropped. The other thing is that funding is generally focused on identifying harms and not on the benefits of cannabis. And that is because, you know, politically it's been a controversial move to legalize cannabis. We need to know things about its impact on, you know, adolescent brain development and how drivers respond. Those are things that can get governments in hot water. Of course, they're throwing money at that. But we need to understand how it's beneficial as well, and how to create cannabis that, you know, has medical benefit, but also the fact is it's an attractive consumer product now. And Katya showed a bottle of Coke. I mean, beverages are coming, and how do you formulate and stabilize cannabinoids in those beverages, etc. So we need to focus on the other side of cannabis, which is like, that's a real product and it has some benefits. There's a few academic researchers, and I say that mainly because, you know, who would jump into cannabis research knowing that, you know, 5 years ago there wasn't that much funding, it wasn't a hot subject, and so there's not a huge amount of sort of track record in Canada on cannabis. So that's not a roadblock, but it is a hindrance to sort of generating more grants. As I was questioning Mary from NRC earlier, some of the federal agencies like Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada are not involved in cannabis. R&D, NRC is getting involved on the institute level, but also IRAP has been funding, and India received IRAP funding, which was really useful. The biggest problem, the biggest roadblock right now is that research licensing is very slow. So research, analytical testing, all the things around the sort of science piece of cannabis still have to be licensed. I mean, you can grow 4 plants at your home, but as a university researcher, you can't, oh, there goes my phone. You can't grow those plants in your lab to do experiments on. You need specific licensing. And the very fact that we're undergoing a gold rush and a boom in cannabis, and the companies involved are expanding, they're asking Health Canada for licenses for production. Health Canada only had enough staff. Probably have, you know, they've been building up staff. They don't have enough to deal with it, and there's lots of delays in getting research licensing. And the other thing I'll just end by saying is that as someone who's been on both sides, on the sort of academic research side and then the private sector side, I see there's a lot of, you know, interest now in valuable IP and commercialization, and that's a laudable goal coming from universities. But there's also the basic research piece that we need on cannabis in order to really push through. And Lena Cully, who spoke earlier, showed that AI graph and the fact that those discoveries and publications and things were happening 10 years before the patents took off. And one of the reasons she talked about the sort of compression of the discoveries in the IP landscape in cannabis is because everyone's sort of aggressively greedy about this area. It's perceived as a gold mine. And I think we can't ignore the fact that we need the basic research. We need things like, you know, sex determination in cannabis. There's dioecious plants, male and female. What's the chromosomal basis for that? I mean, it has application for things like outdoor production and pollen containment, but it's a really juicy intellectual problem on the basic research level. We need to do that. Genome Canada, Genome DC needs to do that stuff as well. So I think, you know, just to sum up, you know, I encourage people, and there's probably plant biologists in this audience, and analytical chemists and pharmacologists, this is the opportunity of a lifetime to do research that really can translate into societal good, but we need some help in getting all these roadblocks. Thanks very much.
Okay, Lisey, you did a really good job announcing my last name, but I'm actually the Chief Financial Officer and co-founder of BC Green Pharmaceuticals, not the Chief Operating Officer, but it's okay. It's my brother, I know him quite well, I can speak on his behalf. So first off, I just want to say thanks a lot for organizing such a great event. inviting me here today, Kathleen at Genome BC. I almost forgot what I was going to talk about listening to my fellow panelists here because they have some really interesting insights, of course. And my perspective on the industry as more of a niche, specialized cultivator of cannabis and from the finance area is a little bit unique to our fellow panelists. And I'm not going to quite take my corporate hat off like Jonathan did. I'm going to talk a little bit about where I see opportunities for niche cultivators like ourselves to create a little bit more healthy competition within the industry. And so our company, we're privately funded, family-run business, and we're focused on the cultivation of premium cannabis and in specific specialized varieties that can be tailored to different medicinal channels here in Canada and internationally. This is a picture of our production facility that's being built out, soon to be in operation. It's based in Princeton, BC, and this is just here for those of you that don't know what an indoor cultivation facility may look like. We targeted Princeton, BC because we were received very warmly by the municipality, which is really important when you're in the cannabis space. You really want to have a good relationship with the municipality you're operating in so you can expand, and they were really happy to get some additional jobs and infrastructure brought into the city. And Princeton, BC, on another note, also offers a great climate for greenhouse and outdoor cultivation, lots of sunlight, great humidity there, and that's something that we look to expand to in the future as we learn more about growing premium cannabis in outdoor and greenhouse settings. I'll touch on this very briefly. We're here to talk about commercial opportunities, but it's always important to talk about corporate responsibility, especially now when in the greater Vancouver area we have smoke once again coming through our skies, and these are just a few minor things that we're looking at as a company, integrating into our growing systems, LED lighting to reduce the energy intake, automated irrigation systems that most licensed producers have, but equipped with moisture sensors on our plant media so we can minimize watering waste. And also we have some really exciting reusable energy cogeneration initiatives that we're looking at on our specific site. And so what is premium cultivation? We don't have a lot of benchmarks. Recreational legalization has only been going on for so long, and we're still in a supply short market, so there isn't a lot of pressures on cannabis cultivation companies to create more and focus more on creating a premium product, and that's why I say some healthy competition never really hurts in these circumstances. And our take is a three-pronged approach to premium cultivation, and that right now is in an advanced indoor facility, and it's just much easier, as Katia talked about, in controlling the environmental elements and collecting the appropriate data to continue optimizing your operation, your product, to create a higher end product, more consistency. The second part is we have a really expansive list of premium cultivars that will be part of our breeding program to create some unique varieties to serve the medicinal community and customer. And also we have a very experienced cultivation team, all coming from leading licensed producers that joined us as part of our strategy to be a niche specialized cultivator. And we have a very robust quality control program. It's embedded in our family and our former business. I spent years working in quality control myself. And commercial opportunities, finally. So I like to stick with threes because I figure if I can't remember three things, then the audience certainly won't be able to. So the three major opportunities that we see right now are creating a more consistent product, high quality product. There's a lot of variability in the marketplace right now, and to do so, we're going to be in our operation, and we know a lot of other producers are looking at this, is focusing on collecting data throughout the production process, all the way to sale, and working on different data collection partnerships with companies like NAC Bio, and collecting data from the consumers to understand, okay, what went well in this last harvest, where can we improve, what were the environmental factors that were present, and how can we, continue to optimize going forward. A huge opportunity in the system that we see right now is furthering understanding of the endocannabinoid system and the entourage effects, botanical synergy, which we talk a lot about, and this will pave the way inevitably for niche specialized producers to offer more tailored strains that produce specific therapeutic effects. And the last commercial opportunity ahead of edibles legalization, value-added products on the market that we see is around alternative dosage forms, safer means of ingesting cannabis, and more precise means of dosing, which has been a big challenge in the industry to date, and informing the customer with more accurate percentages around THC, CBD, and Health Canada being able to provide the right guidance to, as opposed to now, which is, well, I can say Health Canada, the industry and Health Canada and other external organizations working together to provide the right guidance to customers. So thank you very much.